Imagine waking up one morning, pouring your coffee, and glancing at the local newspaper, only to discover that the lines that define your voting district have shifted overnight. The neighborhood you've always known, the community you've always voted with, might now be part of a completely different district. For millions of Texans, this isn't just a hypothetical scenario. It's their new reality. The boundaries that determine who represents you in Congress, who listens to your concerns, and who fights for your interests in Washington, D.C., have been redrawn. And with those new lines comes a ripple effect that could change the course of Texas politics for years to come. These changes aren't just about geography, they're about power. When district lines move, so does the balance of influence in Congress. Suddenly, the makeup of Texas's congressional delegation could look very different. Some communities may find their voices amplified, while others could see their influence diluted. The stakes are high, and the consequences reach far beyond the Lone Star State. Every seat in Congress matters, and a shift of just a few districts can tip the scales on major national issues, from healthcare and education to immigration and the economy. In December 2025, the United States Supreme Court handed down a decision that sent shockwaves through the political landscape. After months of legal battles and heated public debate, the court approved a new, highly controversial map for Texas's congressional districts. The ruling came after a flurry of lawsuits and appeals, with both sides arguing passionately about the future of representation in Texas. For some, the court's decision was a validation of the state's right to draw its own maps. For others, it was a blow to the principles of fair and equal representation. Normally, redistricting happens once every 10 years, following the national census. It's a process designed to ensure that each district reflects changes in population and demographics. But this time, Texas Republicans made an unusual and bold move. They pushed for a mid-decade redrawing of the map, just a few years after the last one was set. Their goal? To secure a political advantage by shifting district boundaries in their favor. Analysts estimate that this new map could tilt as many as 5 congressional seats toward the Republican Party, potentially altering the balance of power not just in Texas, but in the entire U.S. House of Representatives. The move sparked immediate outrage among civil rights groups, voting rights advocates, and many community leaders. Critics called the new map a clear case of racial gerrymandering, arguing that it was designed to weaken the voting power of Black and Latino communities. Groups that have been growing rapidly in Texas and have historically faced barriers to political participation. Protests erupted across the state, with demonstrators demanding fair representation and an end to what they saw as a blatant attempt to silence minority voices. At press conferences and rallies, community leaders warned that the new map could set a dangerous precedent for other states, encouraging more aggressive partisan gerrymandering nationwide. The legal battle was fierce and fast-moving. A federal district court in Texas initially sided with the challengers, issuing an order to block the new map from taking effect. The court found that the map likely violated the Voting Rights Act by diluting minority voting strength. But the fight didn't end there. The case quickly made its way to the Supreme Court, where the justices faced a difficult decision. Should they intervene so close to a major election? In a split decision, the Supreme Court overruled the lower court, allowing the new map to stand, at least for the upcoming election cycle. The majority argued that it was simply too late in the process to make changes without causing chaos and confusion for voters and election officials. So what does this mean for the 2026 election? In short, the new map will have a profound impact on who gets elected to represent Texas in Congress. With several districts now more favorable to Republican candidates, the party could gain a significant edge, potentially flipping seats that were once competitive or even solidly Democratic. This shift could influence not only local and state politics, but also the national balance of power in the House of Representatives. At the same time, the controversy surrounding the map is likely to energize voters on both sides, leading to higher turnout and more intense campaigns. Expect to see fierce battles over every seat, with candidates and advocacy groups pouring resources into key districts. As Texans head to the polls, the eyes of the nation will be watching. Will the new map stand as a model for fair representation, or will it be remembered as a blueprint for political power grabs? The answer may not be clear for years to come. What is certain is that the debate over redistricting, voting rights, and the future of democracy in Texas is far from over. Lawsuits are likely to continue, and future Supreme Court decisions could reshape the landscape once again. For now, the fate of Texas's congressional districts and the voices of millions of voters hangs in the balance. Stay tuned, because the story of Texas redistricting is just beginning, and its outcome could shape American politics for a generation.